So traders, patch here. As I agreed in some of my shorts videos, I would do a June trading breakdown, showing off some of the big wins, but also touching on some of the losses as well, giving an honest view over everything. To start off, just yeah, these are my trades for June in my MetaTrader. That's what we've ended up on profit wise. It'll focus. Anyway, it's a £2,000 profit for June. So let's put the phone away. So as agreed, let's kind of like jump into kind of a bit more of a high level kind of overview of how the month panned out. So let's start off with shifting you over to screen share. It's my face cam showing over the thing. No, I think we're okay. It's just about in view. So here's my FX book, kind of showing an overview of the trading days. As you'll see, there's a quiet start to the month, which led me to a mistake that I made on the second weekend of the month, which I will touch on in a second. But anyway, overall, great month. Had some particularly big trading days, especially in kind of like the final half of the month. Truth be told, I far exceeded my expectations for this month. For June, that is. Technically, we're in July now. But I grew my account by 138%, which, like I said, I was kind of anticipating maybe like 30, 40, maybe at a stretch 50% growth. So achieving 138%, truth be told, it's blown my mind, and I still occasionally am pinching myself. Now, full disclosure, I've kind of mentioned it in some of my shorts and reels and stuff like that. My trading account is a cent account, so the figures you're seeing here, they might look particularly impressive, especially kind of these apparent 5-figure days. A cent account essentially kind of multiplies the actual balance by 100, i.e., hence why it's called a cent account. So, for example, like this trading day here on the 22nd of June, where it says $62,422, it's actually $624, and probably rounds up to 23 cents. But anyway, you get the picture. So just bear that in mind. But if you want me to explain, let me know if you want me to explain like why I trade on a cent account at the moment. But anyway, so this is an overview. So yeah, the month started off really quiet, and like I said, it kind of like led me on to making a bit of a mistake here, which is why you're seeing a red day. And you might think, Tom, that's a Saturday. Tom's my real name, by the way. I'm just known as Patch, but don't know why that is. Anyway, the month started off really slow. This second week, some trading opportunities came up, but it wasn't going as quickly as I anticipated, and my big mistake kind of happened at the weekend, where I was like, I should be further ahead at this point. What can I do? And I started thinking, it's a Saturday, what can I do? Oh, I know, I can trade crypto because it's the weekend and crypto is always open. So I was doing some buy trades on Bitcoin, and I mean, all in all, those trades went really well initially. But what ended up happening, like I said, I ended up in a pretty bad frame of mind that weekend, and so I wasn't thinking straight. And I should have left it after these 2 wins, and just taken the W. But truth be told, I think I got a bit greedy, and when I closed these positions, not that long after, the market was showing signs that it was overbought and was likely to reverse to the downside. And the price action started showing indications of that starting to happen. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go in on a reversal trade. So I've taken the buys, got those on a profit, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to enter in a big sell position to capture the move to the downside. I shouldn't have done that. I should have taken the W on the 2 buy trades earlier, but no, I entered into the sell. And anyway, shortly after going into it, it went to the downside. I'm not going to go do a full breakdown of that because I'm primarily a Forex trader, not crypto. I'm just highlighting this as it was a mistake I made at the weekend because my mind got the better of me, and I will talk about how psychology is a thing that breaks traders and makes them unprofitable. Now, I was lucky that this kind of, well, I mean, technically it's like an 82-cent loss, but essentially I broke even. So I was kind of lucky that I at least had secured a decent profit before taking the big L. So it could have been a lot worse. It shows $2.46 loss. It was technically. So yeah, just kind of touch on that to highlight that whilst I will talk about how psychology is the thing that makes most traders fail, that's not me saying that I'm perfect. I will still make mistakes, and in the grand scheme, I'm still in the early days of my trading journey. I'm not saying I'm a top level trader, although I do have very very good statistics. But I'm not perfect, and I will make mistakes. And that was one of them, and that was a kind of a key example. But you'll see that all the other trading days, I am comfortably in the green. So what I want to do is break down some of my larger trades. So we'll start off with the 22nd of June. So that was my biggest trading day, and one of these trades, this one, is the one that I'll break down at a more granular level in trading view. So let's head over there. So this is the trading view chart for GBP USD. So this is the trade. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into replay mode. Start new. Let's start it from here. And put it around there. So before I press play, I'll just kind of quickly explain why I entered into this trade. So you'll see GBP USD has been heavily in a bearish trend, and sorry, bring my mouse back. You'll see that kind of price action broke structure from the bearish trend and started showing signs that it was price action was trying to move to the upside. So at this point I was like, okay, cool, if it comes back up to this level here, I'm going to enter into my buy then. When it kind of reached this area, it had already shown, the market had been showing signs it was overbought. Relative strength index showed us that on a couple of occasions. So So I entered into some buys, but the biggest one was at this level. I had a couple of like staggered positions here because I was getting an impression that was happening. I think like I entered one around here, but anyway, we're here to talk about the largest of the trades. So let's press play here. So yeah, obviously price broke up, hit my target entry, so I entered, and price moved up very comfortably into about midway of my take profit zone. I don't have set stop loss and take profits, but I set myself like guidelines of where I anticipate I want to take my profit or like stop out the trade. I typically actively monitoring my trades, like set alerts to tell me if the price moves to different areas. So anyway, it moved like midway into my take profit zone, but price started consolidating. This is where a lot of traders, even if they have like a set trade plan, they're planning to take their profit up here. If price starts consolidating midway up their take profit, often traders will end up closing out there. And I do the same sometimes, but if you've got a good strategy, you've got a solid trade plan, you've got your own rules for how you manage your trades. If it historically worked out for you, don't let your mind get the better of you. Stick to your plan, stick to your strategy. Now, after this consolidation, the trade, so obviously this market closed on the Friday, so it was a weekend hold. When markets opened on the Sunday night, you'll see that there was a huge gap, and it went into the started entering my stop loss zone. Now, again, this is an area where a lot of traders, their mind will get the better of them, and you'll notice that over here we very nearly hit the kind of like my stop loss target. Now, I set it just below this area because before price action moved up, price action kind of like tested this area. So that's where I've kind of like drawn out this zone here. And my kind of like my planned stop loss, I kind of put a little bit below it. And only if it like hit this area or a little bit below, I would likely have stopped out the trade, but it just stayed within the area. Now, definitively, a lot of traders, and I've done it in the past, would have closed out here. I would have been like, you know what, better to like close it out now before it goes all the way to my actual stop loss, and I'll at least kind of like save myself some of my capital. As I said before, if you've got a good strategy, you've set out your trading plan for this trade, stick to it. That's not to say that it will always work out favorably, but in my experience, when I've been in these situations in the past, and I've kind of let my mind get the better of me, and I've been like, oh no, I need to close it out now. I'll just kind of like, I'll limit my losses and I'll take it out here. 9 times out of 10 in the past, whenever I've done that, price action has done exactly what it's showing here, and it's ended up going heavily in my favor afterwards. So that's kind of the learning experience that I've had, that it's now drilled into me. You know what? No, I need to stick to my plan, and I'll only close out if it gets to this level or a little bit below, and then I'll close out. So I left it open, and boom, we hit stop, and we hit take profit. Now, this trade, like I said, I don't have, unless I'm kind of like end up having to go into hospital, or I've got some other engagement and I'm not going to be able to like actively monitor the trade. And there's a chance I might not be able to kind of like, close the trade down or trades down. Then only then will I kind of like set stop losses and take profits like actually into my market order. Otherwise I'll leave them like open because I might kind of like see price action kind of consolidating consolidating kind of around my kind of like target stop loss area, but not actually kind of like with conviction move to the downside. And so I may decide, oh, you know what, I'm kind of I might slide the zone down a little bit. So I've got a clearer picture of what I'm looking at, give the trade a bit more leeway and see what price action does. So if it started consolidating around here, I would allow myself some breathing room to allow the kind of price action to show like a bias of it wanting to go to the upside or to the downside. But here it didn't happen. It swept liquidity and moved firmly to the upside, and took out profit. And that was a big trading day, $624 in a single trading day. This month overall, I think it was like $2,080 in profit. And when you bear in mind that I started the account with a $1,500 deposit, like I said, 138% growth. So, a trading day, just a single trading day that big is, a really, really decent achievement, if I may say so myself. And the day after that, we were in AUD CAD sell trades. So unlike the previous day with the GBP USD, there are some trades here that you're seeing are at a loss. So I'll touch on a bit on my strategy. I'll maybe do like another video if people want to know a bit more detail about my strategy, but just to kind of like explain it very briefly, essentially I stagger my risk depending on how high of a conviction I am in the movement. So I'll only enter trades when I've got like a decent level of confidence in the market moving in the direction that I'm anticipating. But I start off with a kind of a lower lot size, and then if price action moves a bit against me, but I'm still kind of like, if anything, it's giving me a higher conviction at that stage that, okay, it's more likely to soon move in my direction, I'll increase my lot size. And so this is kind of like a very clear picture of what that looks like. Because sometimes when I end up closing the basket of trades, as I call it, sometimes like the day before, like sometimes that, I'll close them out and they'll all be in profit, especially if it was a really sharp and sudden movement in my favor. Sometimes price action can at least seem like it's moving slowly, and if it kind of overall takes my basket into a profitable level, like it was, then I'll close it out. And anyway, so I closed out the basket of trades, all in all, at a really, really decent level of profit. But some of them obviously were losses. But one of my bigger trades of this basket would probably, it was this one. So what we'll do is we'll break down that trade by going to the replay, continue. So to start off, what's going on here? Okay, I think it's right. So to explain why I entered into this trade. So I started scoping out potential sells around this area here, where the relative strength index, also known as the RSI, was showing that the market was overbought. Now, I usually wait for kind of a retest of kind of that area. Now, I'm pretty sure I started entering some sells around here, and I think around here as well. I think possibly some down here actually, which is why like some of them were in losses. Anyway, so the market did its retest, and then like some of the earlier trades, like I said, they kind of like it wasn't moving kind of like significantly in my favor. Anyway, we reached this point here, and if I just here we go. I don't know what happened there. As you'll see here, these two red lines here. So those are higher time frame downward or bearish trend lines. And I had a like marked out key level here. So in my mind, I was like, okay, cool. If price action kind of approaches that area, and it starts showing signs that it's beginning to move to the downside, that's when I'm going to go in for my entry. So, and because of this this large bullish candle, I was like, okay, cool. I think if we kind of like hit somewhere around like midway of that candle, like that, like going back to the downside, that's going to like if it hits that point, that's going to be where I want to enter. After it's kind of tested this kind of like this area here where it's likely to have a rejection. So we'll start playing. So yeah, so here I'm pretty sure it was like dead on like here. Oh yeah, it was like in one of these two like half-hour candles. I think it might have been this one, but anyway. Yeah, entered into the trade here because it didn't seem like price action was going to fully test this the trend line, but close to it, which was fine because price action doesn't like always like perfectly adhere to trend lines. As long as it's kind of like in the region of it, then it's still valid. So anyway, price action continued to move against me after I entered into that larger trade, but I stuck to the plan. And yeah, price action kind of like consolidated. It showed signs it was like looked like it was maybe trying to make a move, but price action moved back up again. I set my kind of like planned stop loss just above that level. I was like, no, okay, yeah, if it goes above there, it's going to go even higher. And because these two like high time frame downward trend lines are quite close together, if it broke this one, in my mind there's a high probability of breaching this one. So I was like, if it goes even just a little bit above this one, then I'm just going to close it out and cut my loss at that point. But as long as it stays like under there or close to it, then I'm comfortable. And yeah, can't lie, when it reached this area here, did get a little bit nervous, can't lie. But anyway, yeah, we'll keep playing. So market consolidated for a bit longer, started moving to the downside, further consolidation into the take profit, and then around, yeah, here we go. And then yeah, we had a very solid move to the downside, and we hit take profit. And I'm pretty sure it will. I'm pretty sure it was this specific point here, but I might have closed out here after it kind of like did a small retest. But yeah, anyway, yeah, closed it out around here. And that led to, that specific trade was $135, but $445 for the entire basket of trades, balancing the profitable ones against the losses. But as you'll see here, if we obviously, I can't ignore it as such. It was a part of the month. I did have obviously a losing day, but it was essentially a break-even day, and it was down to a silly mistake, which I'm definitely not going to make anytime soon. That's for sure. Overall, if I stick to my core strategy, which is all about Forex, not crypto, all of my trading days are profitable. So you could say that my strategy has a 100% win rate, at least so far. Only has losing trades because just that is built into the strategy. As long as my kind of like overall basket of trades on an instrument is in the green, then in my mind, I consider that as a complete win. But if you look at at a granular individual trade level, even though I kind of manage them as an entire position as one, the stats might look a little bit different. But even if we do kind of consider all trades at a granular level, my win rate for June I think ended up at like 75 or 80% win rate, I think, and a profit factor of like 4.5. Which is insane. There have been questions. Let me switch to full face down again. Yeah, there were a few questions about what am I risking in order to achieve, like specifically in the month of June to achieve 138% growth, achieve $2,080. So on an individual trade, I'm usually risking anywhere between like 1 and 5% of my account balance, and it kind of just it varies depending on the level of conviction. So, like I said, with my strategy, I typically have like staggered entries depending on like how high of a conviction I am at that point, and I'll kind of like increase the lot size, inherently, increasing kind of the risk. And collectively at any one point, I think the most of my capital that I've risked in open trades at any given time, I think the maximum is like 40%, which sounds like a lot, but like I said, on like an individual trade level, it's around about like somewhere between like 1 and 5%. So for example, on the GBP USD buy trades on the 22nd of June that I showed you, the largest of the trades in that basket, that one I believe I put like about 5% of my equity at risk. But at that stage, I had a very high conviction that market was going to move in my favor. And like I said, I do that because my strategy has such a high win rate that I trust in my strategy. I trust in my trading plan that it delivers. And yes, like sometimes the market does like fully test my position and pulls into my kind of my stop loss zone, but that's part of trading. You can't predict the markets perfectly. The markets do breathe in and out naturally. So yeah, like I kind of factor that into my trading plan, and is all accounted for. And like I said, the results speak for themselves, and that's why I can be confident to put that much at risk. That's not to say that's the right way to do it for everyone, but for my particular strategy and how I trade personally in my psychology, I can maintain myself this way and succeed. So yeah, that was my trades for June, at least some of the major ones. As you would have seen from the trading calendar, I'll switch back to it again. We've kind of like touched on these 2 days, which like my two like biggest days of the month, but we still had some like pretty big days like this one here. We took some more GBP trades and some AUD CAD. Again, GBP USD, all the trades were profitable. AUD CAD, some of them were at a loss, but overall highly profitable. And for the day, yeah, 28, $258 dollars, which is awesome. And yeah, total profit for the month was 2,080. Obviously, we're in July now. If you may or may not be interested, but I'll quickly switch over to July. So we're unlike June, it still started off kind of slow, but we've had a great start. So we've had 4 days so far this month, and we're essentially 1 week into the month now. I'm up to, I think it's $427 profit for this month. Overall, really solid. Only a couple of losses like today, but as I said, yeah, the basket of trades, because as you see, like timestamps, like I closed all of these out essentially at the same time. And yeah, it's been a real solid start to this month as well. But obviously, we'll do a full breakdown of that when it comes to the end of July. Well, yeah, at the beginning of August, I'll do another trade breakdown, because it sounds like this is stuff that a lot of you, well, yeah, at least some of you who watch these videos like to see. So yeah, I think that covers everything. If I've missed something, you'll have to let me know down in the comments below. Hopefully you found this interesting, entertaining, maybe educational. All I'll say is that, you know, obviously what I'm doing here, you know, may or may not be right for you. That's okay. You know, if you've got a different strategy, let me know what your strategy is, and if you've seen things that you think I could improve on, let me know. If you like this video, please do drop a like. If you're new here and you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. Patch out.